Good morning, students. This is concluding part of the chapter Should Visit Hit Mommy. As we all know very well that this chapter is taught to you to give a moral message, moral issue. A moral issue is raised by John Updike. What? That about the relation of a little girl and her parents, and moreover a moral issue is raised whether parents are correct or children are correct. So this is the moral issue in this chapter. So we all know very well that father Jack had been narrating the story to Joe. This system was started when Joe was 2 years old, and finally we are on the concluding part of the chapter. We have come to know that Roger's skunk smell was changed into Rose's smell, but skunk's mother did not like the idea, and she hit the wizard, and then finally wizard changed the smell. Okay, but Joe did not like this idea. Okay, Joe wanted skunk to be in the rose smell, but skunk agreed whatever mother skunk told him. So then in the last minutes of previous video we have studied, after some time when Roger skunk and his mom were going back home, they heard a hoo hoo, and it was the choo-choo train bringing daddy skunk home from Boston, and they had lima beans, celery, liver, mashed potatoes, and pie for dessert. And dessert, the pronunciation is dessert, sweet dish after dinner. And when Roger skunk was in bed, mommy skunk came up and hugged him and said, "He smelled like her little baby skunk again," and she loved him very much, and that's the end of the story. So then all of them had lima beans, okay, celery, liver, and mashed potatoes for dinner, and pie for dessert. Later that night when Roger skunk was sleeping, fine. At that time, Mama skunk came back. She hugged him and told him that he smelled again like her baby skunk, and that she loved him a lot. With this, Jack ended the story, to which Joe again asked that did the other little animals run away from Roger skunk again, and Jack replied no. But daddy, what? Then did the other little animals run away? No, because eventually they got used to the way he was and did not mind it at all. What's eventuality? In a little while, that was a stupid mommy. It was not, she said with rare emphasis, and believed from her expression that she realized he was defending his own mother to her, or something as old. Now I want you to put your big heavy head in the pillow and have a good long nap. He adjusted the shade so not even a crack of day showed, and tiptoed to the door in the pretense that she was already asleep. But when he turned, she was crouching on top of the covers and staring at him. Hey, get under the covers and fall fast asleep. Bobby's asleep. She stood up and bouncing gingerly on the spring. So now what happened over here? That Joe did not agree. Joe did not agree with that thing. And when Jack said that eventually everybody, rare means not occurring very often, emphasis means spatial value given to something. Okay, when Jack said that eventually everybody started liking Roger skunk, Joe did not understand the word eventually, as she had heard it for the first time. So she asked, "What's eventuality?" To which Jack told her the meaning. Okay, but Joe thought that what mommy skunk did was not right, and said that what the mother skunk did was stupid. But Jack took it personally. And said no, because somewhere he was relating it to himself and defending his own mother. Okay, and then Jack told Joe was displeased. Joe was displeased with this new idea. Okay, with this new idea. Fine. So Joe was displeased with this ending and wanted her father to make the visit hit Rose's mommy, but Jack was not ready to make any change as he thought Joe should accept him without questioning. Okay, that was a stupid mommy. Then it was not, he said with rare emphasis and belief from her expression. Okay. So when Jack said that eventually everybody started liking Roger Skunk, Joe did not understand the word eventually. Fine. She asked, "What's eventuality?" Okay, eventuality. So she asked that what's eventuality, to which Jack told her the meaning. Joe thought Joe thought that what mommy skunk did was not right and said that what the mother skunk did was stupid. But Jack took it personally and said no, because somewhere he was relating it to himself and defending his own mother. Okay. Then but then Joe asked to tell her the same story. Okay. Then finally father told that what she stood up. She was not ready to sleep, but when he turned, okay, he adjusted the shade so not even a crack of the day showed, and tiptoed to the door in the pretense that she was already asleep. But when he turned, she was crouching on top of the covers and staring at him. "Hey, get under the covers and fall fast asleep. Bob is asleep." She stood up and bounced gingerly on the springs. "Daddy, what? Tomorrow I want you to tell me the story that wizard took magic wand and hit that mommy." Her plump arms chopped forcefully right over the head, because being a child, Joe did not accept the reality. Okay. And that's why father wanted to give the moral lesson to her. What? That parents are always right. No, that's not the story. The point is that the little skunk loved his mommy more than he loved all the other little animals, and she knew that what was right. "No, tomorrow you say he hit that mommy. Do it." She kicked her legs up and sat down on the bed with a great heave and complained of springs, as she had done hundreds of times. So Joe then asked to tell her the same story the next day, but with the ending she wanted. Okay. Then father Jack wanted the story to remain a reminder to Joe to understand the importance of yelling to her parents. "Hey, get under the covers and fall fast asleep. Bobby's asleep." She was a stupid mommy, but she did not agree. Okay. And then when father was going down, okay, as a father has arranged the curtains and all, and Joe then asked Jack to tell her the same story the next day. Okay. And then what happened at that time, father Jack arranged the curtains and he went down to help his wife Claire, and he was going downstairs. Okay. And he was going downstairs. At that time we have come to know what, that Joe was panting. Okay. Joe was panting and Joe, she was panting and she was jumping. Okay. Suddenly he again heard footsteps above and shouted that did John want a beating. The sound of the footsteps started vanishing. Okay. He shouted, and the sound of the footsteps started vanishing. Okay. When Jack finally went downstairs, his wife was painting a chair. Okay. So Jack's wife told him that it was a long story that he was telling Joe, that it was a long story. Okay. Well, we will see, because Joe was asking Father Jack to narrate this new story. Okay. So, well, we will see now. At least have a rest. Stay on the bed. You are a good girl. He closed the door and went downstairs. Claire had spread the newspapers and opened the paint can, and wearing an old shirt of his on top of her maternity smock, was stroking the chair rail with a dipped brush. Above him footsteps vibrated and he called, "John, shall I come up there and spank you?" The footsteps hesitated. "That was a long story," Claire said. "The poor kid," he answered, and with utter weariness watched his wife labor. The woodwork, a cage of moldings and rails and baseboards all around them was half old tin and half new ivory, and he felt caught in an ugly middle position. And though he as well felt his wife's presence in the cage with him, okay, he did not want to speak with her, work with her, touch her, anything. So when Jack finally went downstairs, his wife was painting a chair. Okay. So Jack's wife told him that it was a long story, and he was telling Joe. Okay. And he was telling the poor, and he was telling Joe, And to that he replied, Jack replied, the poor kid. And as he was feeling very tired, he just sat and watched his wife do all, do all the work. Then he started looking at the woodwork, okay, woodwork around him. Then he started looking at the woodwork around him, fine, and started relating it to his life. He was looking at it and thinking that although both of them, Jack and Claire, were caught in a cage-like situation in their marriage, there was no solution to it. Neither did he want to talk to her, nor speak or touch her. Actually, he realized that his wife was in cage with him too. But he just wanted to stay away from her. Actually, Jack was in chaos. That who is right, old or new? New generation, children, and old generation, parents. Okay, so this is the generation gap. Okay, and he was caught in a middle ugly position. Middle ugly position. Why? Means what? The woodwork, a cage of moldings and rails and baseboard. Middle ugly position means two things are clear over here. Ugly middle position. Ugly middle position means what? That Jack neither helped his wife nor made his child Joe clear or satisfy. Okay, so Jack was not able to satisfy neither his wife nor his daughter Joe. Okay, so he felt that he was caught in a ugly middle position. Fine. So then it is the concept taught over here, old or new. Who is right, old or new? So student, this is the generation gap. We can understand over here, this is the generation gap, old or new. Fine. See over here, means the woodwork, a cage of moldings and rails and baseboards all around them was half old tan and half new ivory. And he felt caught in an ugly middle position, and though as he as well felt his wife's presence in the cage with him, he did not want to speak with her, work with her, touch her, anything. Why? Because he was in ugly middle position. What ugly middle position? That he was not able to satisfy his wife. Okay, neither his wife nor his daughter. It was the problem. So over here, then we have come to know, you can see over here generation gap, that children always think that parents are not right, and parents think that children need more you can say advice. So this happens everywhere, and it is a long story. It's not a new story to us. Why? Because this thing was faced by your parents, you are also facing, and your next generation will also face. This gap will remain same, old versus new. But the main thing is what? Moral issue is raised over here. What moral issue? Whether parents are correct or children. So we have to understand that parents have more experience, and we have to listen them. We have to listen their advice. We have to give them time. And if we have any, you can say good idea, then you can share, and definitely your parents will understand. But what we people are doing, we are not listening to them. We just start revolting. So this is not the good idea. Okay, so finally the message is here. The story Should Visit It Mommy addresses important moral issues. It deals with the idea that parents know what is best for their children. Okay, parents knew what is best for their children, because the parents love their children the most. One should not look for instant solutions to the problems in life. See, Roger Skunk was finding only instant solution. What instant solution? That when his friends were not playing with him, then he wanted to change his smell. So it was not the permanent solution. Okay, one should wait patiently for acceptance from friends. Acceptance or the lack of it from friends should not mean that you change the way nature has intended you to be. Sometimes I have also seen in the classroom that children would like to change according to their friends. It is not right. Why? because everyone is different in this world. As God has given beautiful, you can say, mind to everyone, and everyone has his or her own identity, and we should not change it. Instead of that, we should groom it. Fine. So John Updike addresses common issues found in most families. What children have their own identity and views. Most of the families, okay, parents find it difficult to accept the fact that their children have individual identities. Parents did not want to accept the fact that their children. Parents do not agree. Okay, do not accept the fact that their children have individual identities and don't appreciate their point of view. Both children and parents need to learn to be inclusive and appreciate diversity and creativity. Okay, they should not impose ideas on each other and build a culture of mutual respect and tolerance. Okay, so this is taught in this chapter, that old versus new, who is right, who is more important, old or new. So we have got the idea that both the generation have good ideas. Okay, you can say, if old has more experience than the new has innovations. So can't we mix the two ideas, old and new? Can't we mix? So it would be a wonderful place. It would be a wonderful place to live. Fine. So I think that you have understood this chapter, and please try to understand the message of the chapter, because it will help you in your life, that we should not change ourselves for someone, and we should respect our identity that we have, you can say, inherited from our family. Okay, so acceptance or the lack, one should not look for instant solutions to the problems in life. One should wait patiently for acceptance from friends. Acceptance or the lack of it friends should not mean that you change the way nature has intended you to be. John Updike finally addresses common issues found in most families, and I hope that you all have understood the common issues. And please, you parents, it is advised to parents that they should not impose ideas on their children, and as well as children should not disrespect, should not behave awkwardly. Okay, they should respect their parents. And finally, we parents and children should make a beautiful, you can say, relation. Okay, beautiful relation with respect and tolerance. Thank you. I hope that you all have gone through the chapter, and still if there is any query, then you can ask me. Okay, then you can ask me on my WhatsApp number or on Scholar ERP. Students, please complete the chapter and read it, and then do the exercises and question answer that I have uploaded on Scholar ERP as well as on website. Thank you. Have a nice day.